What's up, guys? Welcome back to day 69 of 119 days of link building. My name is Deepak Shukla. I'm the founder at Pearl Lemon. We're an SEO agency based in London and serving clients worldwide. And if you want to get an additional 17 strategies not shared in this training, then click the link in the description below to get access to that. So today we're talking about microsite link building, and it's a continuation in some regard to training number 61, which is middleman link building. And fundamentally, with microsite link building, what I want to talk about is this whole concept of if you've got, for example, something that's newsworthy or something that's wacky or something that's controversial, or you want to find additional ways to, for example, create hype or press around your main service, then building a dedicated microsite is definitely an interesting way to go, especially, for example, if it's a story worth sharing. So microsites are sites that are literally spun up for, a singular purpose to share something that's unusual or unique. And it really is sky's the limit when it comes to something that's interesting. So I'm going to try and, spitball, for example, a challenge that we'd have and a solution to it. So if you watched my training number, let's go and find it, probably training number 60, where we spoke about free tool link building, then fundamentally, one of the things that we spoke about was creating a, tool that could copy the VAT calculator as an example. Okay. Now the challenge that I might have if I put a VAT calculator on the Pearl Lemon accountant's website, because we've got an accountancy website, is that no other accountant, for example, would link to it. Okay. So how do we get around that? By creating this on or as a separate website altogether without really doing anything different to it, or without, linking to the Pearl Lemon brand, at least explicitly. It's much more likely to be linked to by other accountants. And that's where potentially the value comes into play, that you can work around not getting, for example, relevant links. Links from other accountants would certainly be ultra relevant for Pearl Lemon accountants, but actually getting those links, of course, is going to be quite difficult, because why would an accountant link back to a competitor company? They'd much be more likely to link to a microsite such as this. So this can serve as a combination of both a microsite as well as ultimately a tool that's got utility. So thinking about it in these terms, when you combine these ideas, really means that you can create, a microsite with utility. Now, a microsite with utility isn't just the only thing that's, worth considering. I went on and had a Google of it because I was curious, because I couldn't think of something that came to mind. But I mean, this is Creative Digital Agency. I like their site, by the way. But they talk about how to build a microsite, the objectives, and yeah, so it's to drive a shitload of traffic. As you can see, there's lots and lots of things that do come from it. 50 organic links from reputable websites to improve link profile. And as you can see, look at microsites that competitors have built, and that might be. We'll have a look at the examples, but I'm trying to think if there's anything that is fundamental. No, not really anything that's fundamentally out of the gate here. Services. Their site's really nice, so kudos to you guys, Smack. So now here we go. We have a look at the examples. This is What's Your Food Personality from Weight Watchers. So that's a brilliant example, to be honest with you. And do they have a link to the actual site? I wonder. They don't seem to. But let's see if we can find the site. Fitness personality quiz. So it looks like this is outdated now, but it does look like it would have been a good example. So if you do already know, and I'll stop going through this, if you do already know of fundamentally sites in your niche that operate as microsites, then that's fantastic. If you don't, then it doesn't really matter. The fundamentals of what we're trying to explain here, I think you understand that creating a microsite for a company could be a good way to raise press. And to be honest with you, if that microsite is linked to that company, oftentimes journalists will link to both the microsite as well as the company. So the example of the accountants is just one example. It doesn't even need to be linked. And to be honest with you, there's many financial news blogs that, for example, would have no problem linking to Pearl Lemon Accountants. So don't be centered or focused upon the idea that it can't be on your main or linked to your main site rather. But yeah, microsites are typically standalone, and if you can identify something that's of use or otherwise, then it's going to go a long way in terms of it being something that's noteworthy, then you reaching out to journalists and saying, look at my brand spanking microsite. And as I was saying, there's some examples here, and we'll go on to talk about, things that you could do for microsites perhaps later in the training. But yeah, that's what it is. Microsite link building, guys.